if you just buy,
Yeah,
it'll all work out. Well, it's a
yeah,
little bit more complicated than that. So,
that part.
and
Yeah,
I think you can do a lot better if you do a little bit of, make sure you do your homework, and not only do your homework, but do it with the thing of, hey, I'm going to own this for 10 years, or longer, you know, um, make sure all the hatches are buttoned down, and make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And because it's so easy to get in if you have the down payment, and people want to get you in. Realtors want to get you in. Everybody wants to get you in, and then you're
yep.
in, and you start to have issues, and you're like, I want to get out, and they're like, oh, we can't help you.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level, and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I am your host, Q Edmonds. And you know what I'm going to say? I'm excited to be here today. I have another fantastic guest that's going to give you some knowledge. We're going to peek through things from his lens. I'll tell you a little bit about him. This guy, when it comes to real estate, he brings tech to everything that he does. And we know tech is up on the rise. I think, where are you if you're not using technology, right? Technology is expanding. And so I'm excited, once he got bit by the real estate bug, it was like a sugar rush to him. And so I'm excited for him just to take us through his journey of where he is, what he does, and for us to peek through his lens. And so I want to introduce you guys to Mr. Finith Jernigan. Forgive me, sir. How you doing today, Mr. Jernigan?
No worries. Doing great. Thanks so much for having me here. I really appreciate the invite, and love talking about real estate stuff. So, yep.
Perfect, man. Perfect. Now, listen, this guy, he's professional and pro, but he gonna let me shine today. Like, this is what he does, but we're gonna do this thing together. You know what I mean? But no, I'm
Absolutely.
just, yeah, I'm
Definitely.
just playing around, man. But listen,
Yeah.
man, I thank you for being here. Listen, I want you to take us into your world. I want you to tell us what your main focus is these days. If you want to give us a little bit of an origin story about how you got into real estate, we love origin stories. And then also
Yep.
tell them what markets you operate in, like where you are. So, Mr. Finith, listen, sir, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Yeah, so my background is in chemistry. So I have a PhD in chemistry. So I'm a scientist by training, and started a company up in Boston, and that sold. And during COVID, I, like everybody else, went down to Florida, and then you saw the value spiking, and I was like, well, I'll just start off with one, start small, and ended up buying and selling a condo down there, and got lucky. Like it's easy when all the property values are going up to make money,
Yeah, absolutely.
but but it just kind of like sparked. I'd always wanted to do it since I was a kid, doing real estate. I had friends that owned, big commercial buildings, or fathers of my friends that owned, and they just had this like really nice asset sitting out there that they could, once it was paid off years later, they could retire on. So I always thought of real estate as like a passive thing that, hey, even if you're doing something else, you can get involved in, and if you do it for long enough, you're going to get to be really, really good. So that's kind of the approach I've taken. So, I went down there during COVID, found one property, bought, and then a couple years later sold it.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And then, the company that I had founded sold, and which was nice on a lot of levels. And, I was kind of doing real estate part-time, and still doing it. I was doing it part-time for a number of years, bought more down in Florida. That's doing pretty well. But realized like if I really wanted to get into it, I needed to, I really needed to expand out and really get education rather than just, trying to learn it trial by error on my own, So I started reading lots of books, started getting into like, how do you calculate all of the different parameters that you need to know? How do you calculate runs? How do you, is there a way to auto calculate that with scraping data from Zillow and Redfin? I know you're probably not supposed to do that, but there's certainly ways to get a good idea of what a property should sell for. And I started working on those types of things as well. And I took this really good course. So I want to shout out to this guy, Flip System, which is super good. That was very, very helpful, by Antoine Martel. That was a super helpful course to go through. He really laid it out really nicely on, what's something supposed to sell for? What do you think you can sell it for? How much can you do back envelope calculations for renovations and things like that. So, I initially thought I was going to be like do house flipping, and that it was a lot of work. It was a lot of, and it looked to me to be a lot of risk as well. So if you don't have a good exit plan, you have to sell. I've been in that situation before, which is not the best to be in. And, and then I started kind of getting into more of, can I find things that you can, improve, and then really pump that ARV up pretty tremendously, buy some reno, some cheap, inexpensive, well, not cheap, but just inexpensive, just like quickly done, I would say, renovations, things that are not like complete, down to the studs reno, but just like, can you replace the bathrooms, kitchen maybe, and then put a coat of paint on, and it's, substantially more valuable type of situations. They're hard to find, of course, but, once you find them, then, I started moving into that. I don't know if this is along the lines of what you want to talk about, but it was more just I kind of got away from a buy and hold to buy, improve, and then hold type of situation. So that's kind of where I am now, and that's really what I'm most interested in focusing on. Those type of situations, especially where you can pull all the money out. That's super interesting to me. And I'm beginning to look at much larger, deals as well, like some 25, 35 unit, trying to get into that rather than just looking at, smaller multifamily or individual units as well.
Yeah.
So, but to me, it's a process. I made a ton of mistakes, and I learned, and I'm going to continue to learn. And, one thing I found about real estate is nothing is a short process. You're not trying to buy and hold for a year. You're trying to buy and hold for 30 or whatever. So, or at least I am. And a lot of the successful people I know, they don't like trade. It's not like a trading thing. It's more of a, buying and holding for long periods of time, claiming all of the tax deductions that you get. That's another thing. I had a property that was losing, and I was like, pulling my hair out. And, I wasn't losing a ton, so, but still like losing consistently where, the lease is locked in. and then you're, it makes me a little uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
but then I talked to my accountant at the end of the year, and he was like, "Oh no, we wrote all that off, and the losses were substantially smaller than I thought," which made me suddenly comfortable with it. So,
Yeah.
it's things like that that are easy for me to.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
They were easy to like be told, but going through it makes it a lot. It makes it a lot different. You start to get, or at least I feel like there's kind of a feel I'm starting to get now. So yeah.
Absolutely. No, man, I love it, man. Thank you for taking them down the journey, the origin. Thank you for walking us to where you are, what your main focus are these days. And man, I just want to ask, what are some of the key strategies that you have identified that's really kind of helping you within business and within real estate?
Yeah. So within, I think like maybe start like higher level, and then like overall, I noticed in myself, I have this like, I don't know if it's a character flaw or whatever. Like I like to jump in with both feet too quickly
Yeah,
in
gotcha.
some things. And especially in real estate, like if you're like trying to like trade or something, like trade crypto, if you jump in too quickly, you can jump out. In real estate, you can get in a lot bigger trouble by jumping in too quickly because you can't
Yeah,
get out. So
absolutely.
I've noticed that on a business, on a higher like level business, because I have businesses outside of real estate that I've kind of like, but jumping in those businesses and getting out are not so critical. That's one thing I've noticed with real estate is that once you're in, you're in. So you need to make it very, build the investment case for why you want to purchase this, in a lot more depth than I had been doing in other areas. So, that's one thing I learned, and then really more closely related to real estate was the, looking at the trends, looking at the long-term trend, and realizing that it's a longer investment cycle, I think. And because it's a longer investment cycle, like a downtrend could last a lot longer than something in, say, equities or some other type of business that the
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if you're, and the uptrend can last longer too. So you should really be thinking, it's so easy to get wrapped up in the kind of day to day of life that you forget the longer, or at least for me,
yeah,
I forget the longer term. Like, hey, maybe now is not the right time to get in. Maybe now is or maybe, maybe it's the time to get in, even more so, so, it's really been considering those, and those are more like psychological like
yeah.
things. I think they're more like psychological, how you think about it rather than, day to day. And tech has been a huge thing too. I'm not sure you could do it. You're competitive unless you're,
That part.
really looking and have, very, able to, but with the coding and Gen AI stuff, you can very quickly put together a quick script that'll, pull whatever data that you want. So, I initially just said, I had this like, oh yeah, if you just buy,
Yeah,
it'll all work out. Well, it's a
yeah,
little bit more complicated than that. So,
that part.
and
Yeah.
I think you can do a lot better if you do a little bit of, make sure you do your homework, and not only do your homework,
Uh-huh.
but do it with the thing of, hey, I'm going to own this for 10 years,
No.
or longer, you know, uh, um, make sure all the hatches are buttoned down, and make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And, cause it's so easy to get in if you have the down payment and people want to get you in, realtors want
Yeah.
to get you in. Everybody wants to get you in, and then you're
Yeah.
in and you start to have issues, and you're like, I want to get out. And they're like, oh, we can't help you.
Yeah, right, right, right.
So
Absolutely. Yeah,
not
absolutely,
that I've had it
absolutely.
like that, but that's
Yeah,
just kind of how it, and this might be a little naive, and I'm certainly not a 30-year professional at this, but,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I feel like I've made a lot of mistakes here in the last,
yeah,
but I've had a lot of successes too. So it's
yeah,
like, it's always a learning process, I feel.
Absolutely.
So
Well,
at
listen,
least in
man,
my
I'm gonna
case,
ask you
that's how it's been.
something
Yeah.
I ask everybody that comes on because you just hinted to it. You had a lot of wins and you've had some losses. And I ask everybody this question because there is a journey to success, right? And I like to tell people and show people the journey because, entrepreneurship, real estate, making deals.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Losing out on deals is not always easy. And so there are moments when things get real, deals go sideways, moments when you have to pivot fast. And so is there like one story that maybe you can think of that maybe you can share with our viewers? Because different people are at different journeys, right? And some people may really be stuck in a bad situation. And I just kind of want to give them a little encouragement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I had this house that my wife and I had essentially we're flipping in New Jersey, and it was our like third one, and the market slowed down, and we're sitting there like, oh my gosh, this was not like a rental either. This was just like one that everything happens to work. When the prices are appreciating at all, you tend to just make out when you're trying to do that. And this one, it was, I think it was last spring we ended up closing, but it was like in the middle of the winter that we had listed it, like February or something like this. And it really we had multiple issues. The construction just cost more than we thought, so we had a contingency budget. But when the contingency budget's, that puts you in more of a danger zone. And it was really like being able to just calm down and realize like we know it's going to be okay. We got out at basically break even, which is frustrating on a lot of levels because you don't make anything. So you're putting all
Yeah,
this
yeah,
work into it and you're not making anything. And but that's fine. It didn't go too far south, but in the middle of it, I was really stressed out, and at that point, you think about like, what can you do to fix it? But real estate, there's not a lot you can do. You're in it.
yeah,
You did the construction. You made all the right decisions, and that's what I kind of feel like. I had made all the right decisions. So, in the end, the outcome is somewhat not up to me. So I gotta accept that and really just be like, hey, what can I learn? And I learned a heck of a lot from that. I learned like, hey, maybe don't do flips that can't be rented out easily
yeah,
and
yeah,
not too
yeah,
big of a
yeah,
loss.
yeah,
So I started, I changed my whole strategy based on that. But I don't think you definitely don't learn that when the price is just going up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It just
yeah.
seems like everything's magically going to work out, and it's easy to do when the prices are going up. But when the prices start going down, you start getting in a little bit of a trouble. And I really just kind of, it was like, have to just continue to push through this. And that's easy to say, but it's hard to do, I would just say
Absolutely,
too. So I just realized
absolutely.
I don't think that many people do it, as well. So by being, you're in the arena, you're
There
working,
you go.
you're actually doing this, you're learning, you're,
Yes, sir.
realizing that's progress. That's not just because you didn't make a ton of money yet, or just because you lost out on one deal does not mean like long term that, real estate is an awesome investment. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, let me ask you this, man. What are you most focused on solving next? Like, what's the next real goal for you?
Yeah. So I'm trying to do a lot of operational, trying to improve a lot of operational issues, kind of like, get the accounting done. So I found a really good bookkeeper now that kind of have like the kind of scaling. So it's like, if you bring a new
Yeah.
property on, I want all the books to be super clean.
Yes, sir.
I've been working on that pretty hard, and that's not something that I did initially.
Yeah.
Before I was just like,
Got you.
oh, I'm just going to charge this whatever credit card in my personal one, but that's probably not the way to go when
Yeah.
you miss expenses and suddenly you're not going to be able to deduct them. That's
Yeah.
not a recipe for long-term success. So, a lot of it was, I have a pause here. I had a couple markets that, the lenders that I was using didn't really want to lend on, or they weren't as enthusiastic, which is fine, and then I said, hey, I'm going to use this time now to really improve everything. So when it does take off, I'm going to be able to move like at lightning speed. And,
Yes, sir.
that's kind of the mode I'm in right now. And because like look at the long history of real estate. Like it's just because there's a little bit of a slowdown does not mean it's can't pick up, and it can't pick up faster than you can imagine. So
That part.
that's my like main focus for right now, I would say.
That part. Nah, man, you got to put those strategies and those systems in place. Like you said, that's the foundation. And as you build on the foundation, you want to make sure that foundation is solid. So that way you can keep
Yeah.
building on and keep building. And then, when success comes, the systems are already in place. And so I love it, man. I do want to get your perspective when it comes to relationships. So let me know how you feel about building relationships, growing your network. Like, what's made the biggest difference for you when it comes to relationships?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think having a relationship with a realtor has been super important to me. Like it's like I probably wouldn't buy. I know some people will go out and buy things without it, but I have great realtors that I really, really like working with. And I've had others that I haven't liked working with, and I've had to cut it out. So it's like, really cycling through people until you find somebody you really like to enjoy working with has been super, super critical. And especially if you're not in this state, that's another thing. You really have to trust the people. And, and I generally trust but verify, I want to see it's actually happen.
Love
Just,
that.
no matter what, no matter who it is,
Yeah.
I'll make sure I verify some of this stuff just because, it's so easy to get, like, there's so many transactions that are happening in the bank statements that I'm not saying anything's off, but like, if you're not watching that like a hawk, you don't know how profitable you are. You don't really know where you stand, and something could very easily get away from you. I found like expenses can get out of control, and usually like if you're paying attention like a hawk, expenses get out of control, and you can see it start to happen, and you can adjust to it really quickly. And having a realtor and a property manager there that can really stay on top of that for you and has been critical. But they're not going to do that if they don't like you. And if you don't have a great
That part.
relationship with them, if
That
you give them a
part.
hard time for like pointless bullshit, they're not. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you give it for
No,
pointless
no, you're
stuff,
fine.
then
Yeah.
yeah, they don't like that. But
Yeah.
there's an actual issue, and you deal with the issues head on. Or say you have a difficult tenant and they're difficult, and about it. If you can make sure you stay on their side and realize they're trying to do their best, and difficult tenant can be a pain for so many reasons. But
So many
at the end of
reasons.
the day, they're trying to help you. So if you can do as much as you can to empower them to make their life easier. Like I've just done small stuff just to, like, they asked me to do something that really should be their job. It's like you can't do that a ton of times, but you definitely want to do it like a few times just to help them and make sure that they are watching out for you. So, I think I have relationships like that are very solid. That, at least I think so. It's, and I hope they would say the same thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I know that in my mind, man. I'm sure they would say the same, just getting to know you. I know it's only been a brief period of time, but you seem like a straightforward, solid guy. And so yeah, I'm sure they would say the same, man. But listen, I mean, I thank you so much for everything that you said, the knowledge that you dropped, taking us on the journey of where you've been and where you are now. But listen, before we wrap, if someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, collaborate with you, I don't know. Maybe you got a podcast. Maybe somebody can come and listen to it there. Like, how can people reach out to you, man? How can people stay in contact with
Yeah, sure. So I have an email address, and I have this company I created called Finith Capital, and my email is finith@finithcapital.com. Feel free to reach out. I have a podcast I'm launching as well. It's called Opera's Venture. It's more like tech science focused though, so it's not really real estate. So, but it's definitely, we talk about a lot of tech topics there. That'll be coming out here. I have a bunch of people I interviewed, which is really cool. And but other than that, definitely want to connect with more people in real estate, especially on the East Coast. I think there's a lot there. Definitely looking for more markets and participate in other like syndications things as well. So yeah, feel free to reach out, anybody.
Love it, man. Well, listen, Mr. Fineth, thank you so much, man. Thank you for taking time out being here today. Thank you for your story, for your perspective. Just thank you for, man, just doing things the right way and bringing that knowledge and inspiration to the viewers here. And so thank you so much, man. I really appreciate
Absolutely.
you, sir.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, everyone, you got the value from Finance. You got the value from this conversation. Hit the subscribe button. That way you can continue to come back and we'll alert you when we're on and when people who are given this knowledge and value, you can just come in and grab it. So thank you, sir, once again for being here. And to everyone else, we will see you on the next time.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.